Hey, so Gareth here. It's day one of my tour from Poland down to Croatia. I've just arrived in Gdansk airport and luckily my bike has arrived. There's a few holes in the packaging that's popped here, there and everywhere, but yeah, I just really hope it's not broken. So we'll see how we get on. Alright, so made it through the airport and the bike is now ready and packed, as you can see. I did want to try and get a slow motion video inside of me building it back up, but I left my phone on the conveyor belts, and then it started going, and I was causing a bit of a nuisance to myself, really. But all packed. I'm gonna go to Decathlon, get a little gas cooker, and then find myself a campsite for the first night, and then tomorrow I'm gonna properly kick it off. Alright, I am settled in. I've put up my tent. Bike seems to be working fine, so that's all good. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit nervous, tiny bit anxious. Maybe I thought I was going to be a bit more positive than I am right now. But the surroundings are super nice. Currently at the official start line, which is basically the Baltic Sea. So as you can see, super nice beach here in Gdansk. Yeah, what a lovely evening to start things off. Plan tonight is go and grab some food. I need to get some extra like camping equipment and stuff from a shop, so hopefully they stay open. And then yeah, then get ready for tomorrow morning. Good morning. Day one official, I guess. First big day of cycling is here. I had a pretty terrible night's sleep. My back is hurting, but I'm sure once I've had some of my breakfast and a bit of stretching, then I'll be ready to go. This is my camping setup. I've got my little gas stove, little pot, and then along with that, I'm kind of going with a simple oats and coffee to get me going on the mornings. Probably going to be a fairly regular routine for the next few weeks, except for when there's a restaurant around. I might just hop up there and get a nice cooked breakfast. Yeah, so let's see how we go. Alright, so here I am, Baltic Sea. I'm counting this as my official start line here in Gdansk. So plan today is to do about 70 kilometers, and hopefully it won't be too hot, but it looked like a beautiful day. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through my first day. Not going too bad so far, except I've had to come off road and mow actually onto the official route, which is the Eurovelo number 9, which you can see just up there. But this part of the section in Poland is not actually fully built yet. So as you can see, some park biking, and that's what we've got. So still a bit of a way to go, and plus the road is not really built for my road bike. I should definitely have a touring bike, but oh well, onwards and upwards. Okay, day one finished. I got a little bit lucky, so I was going towards a campsite which was about 10 kilometers away, and saw this kind of camping lodge type area. Saw a sign for a tent, came along, asked this man if he would let me stay, and he said of course, definitely, why not? And so he's given me this plot of land to stay on, as well as giving me my own lovely bathroom with shower and full facilities. Yeah, I think this is probably the perfect day to end day one. There's also a restaurant and a little beachside, so yeah, I feel like I've hit a lucky one here. So I'm gonna put the tent up and then have a beer and relax for the evening. So I've just woken up. It's 9 a.m. I didn't really get to sleep properly until about 6 though. There was a huge wedding going on, which seemed like a lot of fun to be honest, but yeah, it didn't do my sleep any good. It also rained last night, so it's a bit miserable this morning, but yeah, shouldn't be too bad for cycling because it's kind of stopped raining now, so I should be alright. I also tried to find a decent place for coffee or a restaurant or something which is around here, but they don't open until 11, so I'm just going to get on the road and then find something on the way. So I've made it to my third campsite. Again, super lovely one. It's a lot bigger than last night's, but a big, massive kind of beach and volleyball area and a nice big lake. It took forever to make it to the campsite. It took like 2 or 3 kilometers on a mud walk, which was a bit annoying. And today generally was just super tiring. I think I ended up doing 90 kilometers, which is way more than I should have, but it was just because of the redirects and stuff of the routes where I can't actually ride my road bike. Day 3, and I've just had lunch. It's going super well today. Yesterday, to be honest, was a bit of a stress. Although the evening was quite nice, I hated the cycle ride during the day, and I basically saw no other cyclists. Very much like farming villages, so no like big towns or anything like that. But today, yeah, it's super nice. Like the roads have been really good. My bike has been able to go on everything, so no kind of diversions. And I just had lunch in this town called Chelmo. It's definitely not pronounced that in Polish, but that's what I'm going with. Super nice though, and also the first time I've seen some other cyclists, at least people doing tours. So yeah, all in all, feeling really good about today. Got about another 40 kilometers to go to the next campsite. But yeah, feeling really good. Alright, I've come into some luck. If you can see a yellow tent just behind me with a couple of bikes, a couple of young people turned up. I went over and met Ludo and Mirko. I think that's the names. Didn't quite catch it. But yeah, I feel like they're my first friends on this trip. We're going to go out soon and have a drink and maybe have some food. So yeah, it should be quite an enjoyable evening. So day 4 cycling. I'm about 60 kilometers in. Probably another 20 to go today. Probably my worst day of cycling so far. I haven't really enjoyed it too much. I kept on getting pushed onto lots of like big main roads, and the weather's been pretty windy and it keeps raining on and off. So overall, not enjoyed too much. But not far to go. Maybe another hour and a half of cycling, and then I can rest up and then go again tomorrow. Well, today was pretty rough. I somehow managed to lose my passport, cards, and money for like 2 hours. I went to a restaurant pretty exhausted. I left there, put my rain jacket on, and I always carry my passport and my money and my cards and my phone in my kind of like little bag which I've got here. This thing here. And I was cycling for about 10 kilometers, and then I kind of wanted to switch podcasts on my phone. And when I went to check my phone, it was in my jacket pocket, which was fine. But then I looked into my bag and realised that there was no passport there or money. Luckily, my key was there, and there was a couple of coins, but they were gone. So I started to panic a bit, and I thought, where could it have been? Like, have I just left it in the restaurant? Has it dropped out? Like, what has happened here? So I cycle back, and I cycle on the other side of the road and just kind of apologise to all the other drivers that are coming by. It's pretty small, narrow roads, so there wasn't a lot of traffic or anything. And yeah, get to the restaurant, and I'm like hoping the best that it's just there on the table. And then I ask, and she says it's not there. I'm like, oh my god, this is a bit of a disaster, because I've only got like 7 Poznan coins and nothing else. I'm just starting to worry about how am I going to get money and all the rest of it. So then I decide I'm going to go back again and go back through the route. At this point, I'm super tired because I've already just cycled probably about 7 or 8 kilometers back to the restaurant, and then I'm probably going to go and do it again. So I go about halfway, and I start to feel like, because I've driven down a few of the big roads, that maybe it's just fallen off from one of the smaller bits where I've kind of gone in and turned around because I had to, because my bike couldn't go through the track, and luckily a woman was walking down with her kid, and at first she looked down and I thought, oh, she might have it, and so I went over and I said, oh, hello, excuse me, do you speak in English? And her English was amazing, and but she didn't see it, and I was like, ah, but she was super super helpful, and she let me give me her number, and she gave me mine, and she was going to send messages around to like the people in the local town. And realistically, it was only like 10 houses in this town. It wasn't a lot, and then everything either side was just country road. So we kind of exchanged that information, and then she just kind of said like good luck, and yeah. And then at that point, I kind of turned around, and a tractor had pulled up, and then a man jumped out, and he'd been seeing us talk for a while, I guess, from down the road, and he couldn't speak in English. So then I quickly asked the woman to come back, which her name, we called her March. She said it was something different. Started with Ma, but she said I couldn't pronounce it properly, so we went with March. And she came back and she went, I think he's got your ID, and I think he's got your cards as well. I was like, no way, this cannot be happening. And so yeah, he explained that on his kind of road, where I do remember kind of going down and turning back around, he said they were just there on the floor. I'm not sure how they got on the floor, and it doesn't make that much sense to me, but all my money had gone, but it was just it was out anyway, and the wind probably blew it away, and even so, even if they kept it, they've given me back my passport and cards, so yeah, super lucky. So I finally made it to this campsite, second one I've seen tonight. There's nothing to eat here, or no shop or anything, so I might have to go back into town, but yeah, it started off as a bit of a rough day, but it has turned around, and I feel like super grateful to March and the other kind gentleman for finding my stuff. And yeah, I think it's almost unbelievable that I lost my passport for like a couple of hours, and something that I kind of predicted because I printed out a version of it as well, just in case I would ever need it, but I was mostly worried about the cards. But luckily, all is well. I've lost a bit of money, but not too much. So in the grand scheme of things, back on track. Morning. So day 5. Plan today is to head to Poznan if possible. I think it's about 95 kilometers away, so I'm not sure. But if I do make it there, I'm gonna have my first rest day tomorrow. Feeling pretty tired now, but feeling optimistic. Last night I had a few problems though. I tried to have a shower and it's 2 zloty, but accidentally I was just so tired and I put in 2 groszy, I think it is, basically pennies to the pound, and didn't work, blocked it. So went to the bathroom instead, washed myself there. Then I came out. There's a full family gathered around like the shower area where I blocked it, and I couldn't even face telling them that it was me, because partly there's just the language barrier is too much. Hopefully I can get a shower this morning just to kind of freshen up, and then get going. Also, I've got a bit of a cold sore. I think the combination of maybe a bit of stress yesterday, and just tiredness overall, and probably just being in the sunlight all day is brought it on. But I guess if that's the only injury I have, I'll count myself one lucky man. So yeah, day 5, let's get going. Alright, day 7 of cycling. Had a good breakfast here at this motel. Feeling pretty good though. Had a pretty good night's sleep as well. barring a bit of commotion that was going on last night. I think about 3 or 4 doors down, there's some smashing and banging, and I woke up this morning, there was actually like a big dent in one of the doors. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, it is what it is. So off we go. Alright, so I'm halfway through my day of cycling. Just had a pretty light lunch from the little tiny supermarket. Got a few pieces of fruit and then had a coffee next door. It's the first time actually that I've kind of got through an exchange like that where they almost assume that I'm Polish or at least can speak some Polish. I pretty much just said tak like 3 or 4 times, which is just yes. But anyway, afterwards I had my coffee outside and both the shopkeepers sat next to me. And at one point they burst out laughing, just assuming that I would know what was going on. So I just laughed with them. But even now, I still don't really know if they don't know if I understood or anything. But yeah, it's the nice little things in the day that keeps you going. Alright, good evening. So, difficult one to put into words tonight. Nothing spectacular happened, but one of those nights that you'll just remember for such a long time. So after speaking to the owner, he said I can take a shower up at like next to his house. So I popped up there and met his wife and brother, and they were super nice. So I went and sat down, and then they could also speak some German. So we basically ended up having a conversation for about an hour and a half in broken German between the three of us. I took a selfie at one point, which basically led to them showing me 200 photos of family members. She made me quite a lot of dinner, so I had garoni, or I'm not sure, I forgot what the word is again, but a traditional kind of local Polish dish, and then had a coffee. And then after that, I discussed with the brother, Tardek, his name was, or Tardesh, going to the shop because I probably need to get some food in for later on tonight. And I was going to set off soon. He said, no, I'll take you to the shop. I'll take you on a tour to the shop, I thought he said. So we jumped in the car, and then on the way to the shop, it seemed like we had to stop by his house. So we stopped by his house. We then stopped by his church, the first one, and then we also stopped by his second one. So he has a small church and a big church. We then stopped by his brother's tattoo studio, where he said, come in. And his son was wondering what's going on because he was tattooing somebody. So that was a bit weird and awkward. So left there. And then we kind of just left the town and proceeded to go and see like the surrounding areas. And it kind of turned out that instead of it saying, let's just go on a tour to the shop, it was like a tour of the entire area. So then we were kind of like off road, exploring all the different lakes and the wilderness that's around. Probably in total in the car for about an hour and 20 minutes. And then on our way back, he kind of gets. I was like, "Oh, so are we going to the shop?" He's like, "Oh, the shop." Or the lad in German. So he completely forgot about that. Kind of went back and then went from there. And I've just got home, so I've got a beer. Got a few bits and pieces for my dinner tonight. But yeah, one of those surprisingly nice evenings, even though the language barrier is kind of there. You can still get by, and yeah, just super nice. So looking forward to kicking on tomorrow. I've only got about 50 kilometers to Warsaw, and then yeah, go from there. Today started off pretty tough actually. I've been cycling on this kind of mud trail for about 10 kilometers so far, so I hope it's not going to be too much longer, but yeah, tough one, tough start. Oh, that was a very tough stretch. I think I'm out of the worst of it now. I did have a tiny little fall, but I was going like 5 kilometers an hour, and plus it was muddy, so I've just got dirty rather than hurting myself. So yeah, I'm going to push on and hopefully get back onto a regular road and then make my way to Wrocław. Hey, so I made it to Wrocław. Pretty nice ride for the rest of it, except for that mud track at the beginning. Here at Grandpa's Hostel, yes, that's the name. I'm in a 10-person dorm, so after quite a few days of non-socialising, barring a bit of last night and meeting a few people about 5 or 6 nights ago, tonight should be a bit more sociable. It's sangria night, so yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm so tired though that I'll probably sleep early and be the boring older one. But yeah, let's see how we go. Hello. Don't really have much to say about today. It's quite nice. Left Wrocław. Kind of hit me a little bit that I'm not going to be like properly socialising for a bit. So probably not as enjoyable as some of the other days of cycling. And now I'm back into the camping life. Here I am washing my clothes. Yeah. But I had some good food a bit earlier. I'm just going to settle in and have a chilled night and then get ready to go again tomorrow. So I'm a bit perkier than I was yesterday. This morning was quite nice. I had breakfast with a young Polish guy who was hiking from the east to the west, and then also 2 English guys who were on their motorbikes kind of traveling through Poland as well. So yeah, it's quite nice to kind of chill and have breakfast with them, and it kind of set me up for the day. And then today so far has been great. The roads again have been pretty spot on, barring a few kind of potholes here and there. And I'm not too far away from a place called Nisa where I'm putting up camp, and then that'll be my last night in Poland tonight before kind of heading into Czechia tomorrow. So yeah, quite excited to get like Poland done, although I've loved it. It just feels nice to kind of check off a country, I guess, even though it is the biggest one that I'll be going through. Good morning. So I had my first night in Czech Republic last night. The cycling in Czech Republic so far has been pretty tough. I've been going through like little ski towns and stuff, so super hilly. But I got to this little campsite last night, and as you can see, I'm pretty much the only tent. I got here and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, like you can't camp here. It's summer camp," and I was like, "Oh no." But then they explained it was just the last day of summer camp, and they realised I also had my own tent, so I could just stay out here on the field, which was quite nice. And then a few of the teenagers kind of came across to me and said, "Oh, do you want to be involved in a table tennis tournament?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So luckily they invited me over. They played some table tennis. I had a barbecue with them and a couple of drinks, and then called it a night. So feel like I got pretty lucky experiencing the end of summer camp with a bunch of random teenagers and a few of the kind of camp leaders. So I'm gonna get ready and then set off to go on my. I've had just the most amazing day. About 90 kilometers of cycling, which was just insane. Super nice roads through like the mountains in Czech Republic, and then I've got to this hostel here, which is just like the best hostel I've ever seen. It's called Long and Short Stay in Olomouc. It's definitely not how you pronounce it, but I'll give it a go. So I actually decided as soon as I got here to stay an extra day. I've got a little tourist map, and it seems like this town is just ideal, especially for like a solo traveller to kind of explore some pretty amazing like coffee shops and places to eat and lovely river. And a really nice old town with a couple of like cool squares. So I'm just going to take the time tomorrow to buy a new book, explore the sites, and then get going again towards Brno in 2 days' time. So yeah, really looking forward to this little stop off. So I've been following this number 5 route here, but actually the number 9 Eurovelo, which is my like main route all the way from Gdansk to Croatia, is actually here. It's super random though. I'm like 60 kilometers away from Brno, and it's the first time I've actually seen this sign in about 300 kilometers maybe. But yeah, well, a welcome sign, and feel like I'm making good progress. Morning. Brno is quite the little city. Last night I kind of just walked around mostly by myself and had a couple of drinks. There was like 3 outdoor music festivals or concerts, I should say, and all the bars were lively, and the city is just really pretty. I got up early this morning just to have breakfast and explore a bit more, and then I'll get on my way. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to come back to Brno, especially with some friends or my girlfriend. I think it would be quite a nice city to spend a few days and really take it all in. Again, just another wonderful day in Czech Republic. And really quickly falling in love with the place. It's just amazing. From Brno down to where I am now, which is just really close to the Austria border, in an area really close to South Meridia, I believe it's called, just full of kind of wineries and things, and just arrived at this really small town, and the campsite that I'm at now is just super lovely. People hosting are really nice, and there's like a really good vibe inside, and there's a really nice restaurant, and they've got amazing wine. So yeah, just really lovely. I feel really at home here. And then luckily I met a pretty inspiring guy as well. His name was Mark. He's currently runs a little marketing agency in Brno, but he's currently on a 4 or 5 day cycling tour with his 2 twin daughters who are both 7 years old. So they're averaging about 40 kilometers a day, which is just awesome. I love it, especially seeing their bikes. It's impressive what the amount of kilometers they're getting through. And his wife is at home, so she can have a bit of a break before the kids go back to school next week. So yeah, it's really nice. And he kind of brought up an amazing idea, which I almost feel like I should do back in England. He every year for the last few years he's done a 14-day hiking trip where he covers about 30 kilometers a day, and he goes around all the really small towns in this area, particularly between here and Slovakia, and speaks to all the older people and gets like their stories of the past. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're quite sad, and he really basically brings them to life. So during the 14 days, he's followed by like the radio. Obviously, he has like his Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. but at the same time, afterwards he like writes up all the stories, publishes them, and then he writes a book off the back of it. So he's done that for 2 years now, and this will be his 3 years maybe actually. Yeah, and it's just an incredible way to kind of to travel, to hike, to speak to the older generations, and make sure that a lot of their stories aren't lost. So maybe in a year or two, I might also do the same in the UK, because it's a pretty amazing way to see the world and kind of go back and speak to the older generations. Hey, so I have a real problem here. The racket that is holding my bike is basically completely snapped off, which basically means I've already took this bag off, but even so, the bag's now just going to the wheels. So this is going to be a real problem. I've looked for bike shops on the internet, but there's not a one for ages, and I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. If you look around, dead. There's no real towns for, I don't know, maybe 10 kilometers. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a think and then try and get on my way. This is not fixable at all. I just tried to take the bags off, but instead the whole thing's come with it. Yeah, I'll think. Okay, I'm moving again, but I've got my big backpack on, and then I've basically straddled both of my bags over my seat. It means I can't pedal properly. I'm just kind of like pedaling with my heels. But if I do that for about 8 kilometers, I can get to a train station called Breklav. So I'm actually going backwards. I'm going back into Czech Republic, even though I'm already in Austria. But there's a train that goes from there to Vienna, and that's my best bet for getting some new panniers and getting myself sorted. So that's the plan. There's a train at 5 to 2, which is in 50 minutes, or there's a train at 4:30. So I'm hoping to get the first one. So yeah, let's go. Got to the train station. Didn't get my Vienna train, but I had a better idea anyway. So I'm going to get the train to Bratislava, which is further east, and then basically get it fixed up there tomorrow, as it's Monday. The shops will be open, and then I'll basically cycle back from Bratislava to Vienna, because I kind of feel like I want to make up the 50 kilometers or so that I'm kind of skipping here. So yeah, quite exciting. Going to go to Bratislava as well as Vienna on this trip. So yeah, I think it's going to work out well. Alright, so after the drama is over with, the bike is now fixed, which is great, and I had a pretty good day in Bratislava yesterday. Caught up with an old friend, an old work colleague actually, so we went for a free walking tour, had dinner together. Yeah, so it was all good. Took a while to get the bike fixed. I went to 4 shops, and then the 4th one finally had what I needed. But I now think that I'm actually just like way better off, and the actual thing that I've got now is better than what I had previously. Also upgraded to some properly waterproof bags. Previously I was using, I would call them semi-waterproof, but basically my clothes were always a bit damp, so I smelled worse than I probably should. So yeah, it's all good. Hey, so I just stopped for lunch. Lovely day so far. There's kind of a national park between Bratislava and Vienna, so just been cycling through there mainly, which has been super pleasant. Been through a couple of castles and yeah, probably about 20 kilometers away or so from Vienna. Also had a really nice lunch there with another touring guy. So he's Been touring for about 2 weeks, and yeah, just one of those nice exchanges. So nice to keep you going. Guten Morgen, here in Austria, in Vienna. Stayed here for 2 nights actually in this lovely little hostel. There was only 3 bedrooms, so it was yeah, like a bit more kind of intimate, and everyone kind of got to know each other a little bit more and had dinner together and stuff, which was nice. Had the chance to explore Vienna yesterday, which was absolutely beautiful. And now I'm going to get going again, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to some camping, to be honest, because I feel like I've been staying in a few hostels because of going through places like Bratislava and Vienna, so should be quite nice. And I'm going to head south, basically just through Austria and then into Slovenia. So yeah, weather's nice, feeling good. So yeah, off we go. Halfway through my cycling today. Pretty tough day. Just so many hills. It's raining, and yeah, just generally pretty exhausted. Also, my right Achilles is really starting to pull. Yeah, I hope it relaxes in a bit, but yeah, it just feels a bit weird. Hopefully, when the hills start kind of leveling out, then it might be all right. I'll keep pushing on though. Got about another 40 kilometers to go or so, and then get set up for camp. Alright, so it's not stopped raining all day, and I've just been climbing up lots and lots of hills, so I've called it early today. I've done about 60 or 65 kilometers. I started looking for campsites that were close to me. I didn't really find anything, but I did find this glamping site. So I went on the website, found a bit of a special offer, and here I am. So it's quite nice. Full little kitchen area. She's given me a little electric hob what I can use for some cooking later. Nice little bed, little double bed. This will be super comfy for me, and a lovely little shower at the back. So I feel like I've hit the jackpot. Yeah, I should have probably one of my best night's sleep since I've been here in this little cute cabin. So I'll get back on the road tomorrow, but it's scheduled to be 4 days of raining, which is a bit depressing. But yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, so I'm setting off again this morning. It hasn't stopped raining for like, I don't know, 15 or 16 hours. And the visibility is not great, so it's probably going to be a slow day. I've got quite a bit to go, so I'll see how I get on. Hey. So it's been a few hours since it's stopped raining, which is quite nice. And since then, the roads have been lovely. Still quite hilly here in Austria, but not as bad as yesterday for sure. So yeah, really enjoying it now, and taking a little pit stop here in some of the woods, and then I'm going to get going again. But yeah, it's been a really good couple of hours of cycling. Well, the moment I recorded that video, it started raining again. So I'm going to leave it 5 minutes, hiding underneath a little bit of shelter. And then I'm going to cycle a little bit more. I think it's about 15 kilometers until I get to my campsite, which will be about 90 in total today. So yeah, I think that's not too bad. Alright, made it to the campsite. Really nice campsite. It's just a shame that it's been raining and it's super cold. Or I think it would have been quite fun here. It's got like lots of like beach volleyball courts out here, and there's basically a massive like lake slash like a swimming pond over there, which is just huge. But yeah, it's completely deserted. So there's a few caravans around, but not a single tent. But yeah, I'm gonna get the tent up before it starts raining again, and gonna get us settled in for the night. Morning. Last night's sleep was pretty rough. It just rained all the time, so when you're in a tent, it's just constant. But before that, it was quite nice. The lady at reception and her husband were very kind of kind. I think they saw I was a bit tired yesterday, so when I walked in, they first give me a schnapps, and then they give me a pumpkin liqueur, and then they give me another beer on the house, which was super kind of them. And yeah, had a chance to chat with them for a couple of hours. Which was really nice. So I'm going to try and get this tent down, even though it's a bit muddy, and then get on my way. But I'm feeling a bit down today, like not mentally, just a bit feel like I'm getting a cold or something, so I need to be a bit careful today. Make sure I wrap up a bit more than I did yesterday. So I'm here in a wellness area. It started raining again today and my body started to feel like it was breaking down. So I found an offer online, especially after I started cycling through this area of thermal baths advertised everywhere. And yeah, had a bit of a sauna and relaxation pool to kind of refresh and reboot for the final 10 days. Yeah, I feel like my body's broken down a bit now, but this has been super nice. So yeah, be looking forward to getting back on the road tomorrow, and hopefully the weather improves because it's just rained all afternoon again, which is a bit unfortunate. Good morning. So feeling refreshed after my little wellness session last night, and yeah, so far it's going pretty well this morning. I've only cycled like 5 or 10 kilometers, but the cycling roads around this area are just amazing. I think the area of Austria is called Styria, but there's just like thousands of kilometers of cycling roads according to all the maps and things that I've seen. So pretty excited about cycling along the River Mur and then basically go south into Slovenia and stay in Maribor for the night. So yeah, really looking forward to today's cycle ride. Hopefully the rain isn't too bad. It already started raining this morning, but the rest of the week looks scheduled to be super warm. So yeah, looking forward to a return to good weather. Alright, so I've stopped more than I probably have on the entire trip for this little segment. In part because I don't know exactly where I'm going and don't really have like a live map or anything, but also just the mountains and the hills here are just so beautiful. I'm not sure if you can see them that well, but super nice cycling lanes as well in parts, and yeah, just really nice scenery. So yeah, really enjoying it. Oh, I thought Austria was hard, but Slovenia is just as hard. Seems to be building works everywhere, but so many hills. Like this one down here, you probably can't get it from the angle, but maybe the background, and I've still got to go quite a bit further up this hill around the corner. Yeah, it's even hard to walk up with cycling shoes on. I keep on slipping. Oh, what a day. Cycled over about, I think, 103 kilometers. It's pretty hot, but just so many hills. Like Slovenia is lovely, but mountainous. So just got checked into a hostel because I want to see a bit of the city tomorrow. Already chatted with the lady at reception. She's giving me kind of some tips on bars and restaurants and sightseeing and free walking tours and stuff. So hopefully my legs will feel up for a bit of a tourist day tomorrow, and then I'm kind of onto the home straight. So this was exactly 4 weeks now, so only 1 week to go. Oh, I'm like physically panting. I've been going for 30 kilometers total today, but 20 just constantly uphill. Just makes no sense. It's just so hilly. It's killing me. Hello, so having cycled from the Baltic Sea, from Gdansk, Poland, I'm now at the Adriatic Sea, but this isn't my final destination. I just wanted to have a quick stop off in Italy, so I'm now in Trieste. Had a great day today, barring this morning. I had my first puncture, but that was kind of a slow puncture overnight, so I managed to fix it this morning before setting off. Also met two girls from the US who were on their first day of travel yesterday, so they've got like 2 months of traveling, I think, heading down from Slovenia all the way through the Baltics, so that should be quite a lot of fun for them, and also the first time I kind of cycled with other people, so we managed to cycle into like past Slovenia and into some into some pretty interesting caves. So we kind of had a tour around there. So yeah, it was really nice. So now the plan is basically to just cycle down the coast towards Pula. So I've probably got about 200 or 250 kilometers left, but it's mostly coastal roads. So really looking forward to it. And as you can see, Trieste is really nice. The city itself is pretty awesome, I think. So yeah, I'm in really good spirits about the rest of this trip. I've got basically 4 days to get to Pula to make sure I meet my girlfriend in time on Wednesday. Morning. So I feel pretty bad today. Yeah, everything feels a bit swollen. My eyes and my throat's killing me. I feel like I've come down with a bit of a cold. I kind of knew it was coming yesterday, but it just means that I think today I'm going to have a proper rest day. I haven't actually had a full rest day. Every time I've had one, I've kind of just explored cities and stuff. But today I think I'm just going to have to, yeah, drink some tea and just completely relax, and then try and finish the rest of the, the the ride in the remaining 3 days after this. So yeah, hope I feel a bit better soon. Well, even though I'm feeling a bit ill, my mood has changed dramatically. I thought today was going to be another difficult one. So as I was leaving kind of Italy and then into Slovenia, I got caught on a motorway. There was just no cycle lanes, and when I looked again at the route today, I thought it was going to be the same, but it's not at all. There's basically so far 10 kilometers of cycle route all by the sea. So this is like the cycle only, and then that's the normal path. And as you can see, there's the Adriatic. So hopefully it continues like this for as long as possible down to Pula. I think it's gonna end at some point, but yeah, good so far. Morning. So this is the final time I'll be uh, making breakfast after my final night of camping, which is yeah, pretty awesome. So now it's just a case of rolling into Pula. Hopefully the weather stays dry, and yeah, I mean, crazy. 5 weeks, and here we are, the last breakfast. Yeah, only 40, 50 kilometers to go. I'm all packed, wearing my prostate cancer jersey, feels fitting for the final day. So I have now finished my 2,000 kilometer challenge, going from Gdansk, Poland to Pula, Croatia, from the Baltic Sea to the Adriatic. Not really sure how to summarize the trip. Maybe talking about some challenges and maybe the positives, I guess. Probably three biggest challenges were sleep. It's probably the first one. I basically bought all the cheapest equipment, like tent and sleeping mat and sleeping bag. So like at night, I was just super uncomfortable, or I was either too hot or too cold. Yeah, I never really quite got into a good rhythm of sleeping. So that's probably one of the biggest ones. Second one was probably the bike position. So the bike, actually, everyone told me that a road bike or a racing bike wouldn't work, and it definitely did. I mean, I had no mechanical problems, and I only had two punches throughout a whole trip, which is nothing really. But the bike position really hurt me because my neck was in agony after a while. My back was. So if I was to do it again, I would have a more traditional touring bike where you're sat more upright, because yeah, my neck constantly being like this was just a bit of a killer. And then probably the third one was, there is an element of loneliness. I did feel like I've met a lot of people, but at times you do want to kind of share different moments of happiness and also of like challenges with somebody else. So just the idea of being alone for 5 weeks definitely is a challenging one. But positives, I met some amazing people along the way, so that's probably the first one. Kind of, I met people hiking, met people like fellow bike travelers, fellow people just kind of like traveling around Europe, or even just like lots and lots of locals, and hosts at maybe camping sites and stuff. So they were just, yeah, it was amazing to hear kind of all their stories and what they've been up to. Um, what I really enjoyed as well was kind of exploring parts of a country that I never would normally. So normally, if I was to go to a country, maybe like a Poland or Czech or Austria, I would kind of go to the bigger cities. But this kind of enabled me to explore a bit more of the rural areas and vineyards and that type of thing. And it was just nice to kind of, yeah, explore the part of the country that isn't as touristy, and yeah, it was just really nice to explore those areas. And probably, yeah, the other thing was just, or the other biggest positive was just raising money for charity. That was, obviously, it's really nice to see when people are donating, and it's a charity, it's Prostate Cancer UK, that does mean a lot. So yeah, I really appreciate that, and it definitely gives you the boost as you're going on, when people are kind of topping up and adding their pounds and dollars and euros into the into the account. So yeah, that's massively appreciated. And yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate everyone reaching out to me and messaging me and offering lots of word of support. So thanks again, and yeah, I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.